Coffee Talk. It's Thursday, December 21st. About 9:15 a.m. I've got my third cup of coffee for the day. I've just been running around like crazy today trying to get some stuff done. And when I say running around like crazy, I mean hobbling like I'm in pain because I did not sleep very well. But I do have some things to take care of that I've been working on. So I finally got my desk cleaned off here and a couple of other projects out of the way. So I wanted to do my much promised coffee talk and planning today because it's time to start setting up our January stuff, more specifically budget stuff, because I don't have a lot of major projects going on in January, but I do need to start working on my January budget. But before I start that, there are just a couple of tiny little hauls that I wanted to show off, nothing major or exciting. I got another order from AliExpress delivered the other day, and what I had ordered was some more buttons, just some more wooden painted buttons, just very cute little characters on them. We've got bunny rabbits and butterflies and owls and just very nice dragonfly, just random kind of little buttons. These are very cute, very lightweight. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I got a big bag of those for various not just my cards, but I'll use them on various other crafts. Just very cute. So I got that, and they also sent me a little free gift of some little sequins here, which, you know, you can always use sequins. So that's what I got from AliExpress. And secondly, I got a really good deal on an eBay auction from Stephanie Davis, who is a fellow YouTuber, and I love her channel. She's really, she loves making cards and stuff and doing hauls. She's really coming up with her watercolor. She's taken a watercoloring and she's doing just absolutely beautiful, but I'll link her channel down below. She's such a sweetheart, but she does her, her crafty D-stash. She does them as auctions on eBay, which is a really nice idea. So when she did hers, I think it was last week or the week before, I bid on a few things, but the one I ended up winning is the Lawn Fawn Mom and Me set. It's just the stamps, there's no dies, but these are brand new. And I think this was probably, oh gosh, less than 10 bucks for this brand new set. And I thought this would be great for starting on some Mother's Day cards in the next month or so, because I will be starting on those soon. And I will see about picking up the dies, but just very cute, the little animals hugging and just very sweet. We've got fox and owl and some sentiments, including grandma, which is really nice. Both of my grandmothers are dead, but I still love that scripty font. My mother is still living, however, and so is my mother-in-law. Anyway, so that is what I have for just little hauls. Nothing super exciting to show off, just a couple of little tidbits. And I ordered these like months ago, and I probably have some other things that's still coming in that I don't even remember. Okay, I have this, which I hauled it earlier this week, just the plan on it. I have that all out because I have my planner out. The other thing that I wanted to show off was the quick card share for the Gerda Steiner Designs free monthly image printable. It's free if you entered last month's drawing, and but you can buy it. It's like $3 or $4 or whatever. I'll link her website down below. And this month is an adorable little bunny rabbit who with a heart that she's stitching. And of course I love bunny rabbits, so I decided to turn this into a Valentine's Day card. I inked the background using the new Hero Arts ink that came with the kit. And I used my new Echo Park Buffalo check stencil, which I really do like, but after I stenciled it, I realized that the check is a little bit too big, I think, for the detailed background that I was going for, because you can't see too much of it. So I'll look for something that maybe a smaller check. I'm trying to avoid having to buy the pricey Concord and Ninth stamp. So I'll look again for another stencil, and you know, even if I wanted to buy the stamp, it's been so out of stock that I would have a hard time getting a hold on it. But I would like a stencil, I think, a little bit more than the background stamp. But anyway, so I'll keep an eye out for another option. I really do like this stencil. It's beautiful, and of course with the ink, it just went on like a dream. I didn't have any issues with that. I absolutely love it, and I'm really glad to have it. I just think for what I was doing with it, putting a lot of die cuts on it, it's kind of buried. So maybe a smaller print would be better in the future for me. But I colored and fussy cut out the bunny rabbit. There's a layer of Wink of Stella glitter pen underneath here, and then I covered it in glossy accents, and then I put glossy accents on the eyes as well. I let it dry for a couple of days, fussy cut it out. These are just some button cutouts from my Martha Stewart punch, and I had a bit of washi tape that had little measuring print on it that I picked up for a project last year. When I was going through the drawer looking for the thread, because this is embroidery floss that I've run through the buttons here, I saw this and I was like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot about that. It's perfect for a sewing themed card. And this is a sentiment that I made on my Cricut. I used the write and cut feature. It says love you so much, a little pun in there. And then of course I cut the hearts from my Cricut as well. The background red scalloped is from the Cricut, and I treated that with some of the Sunapee shimmer spray, and then I hit it with my heat gun, and then I put the pink heart on top of that. So that is it for my Gerda Steiner entry this month for a drawing for a free, I think it's like a $15 gift card for their website. So I'm definitely going to be uploading that at some point. I have the image already all taken and watermarked and all that stuff. I just haven't found the time to actually upload it to the website. So one more thing I wanted to show off before we get planning. I mentioned earlier that for 2018, and I haven't ever done this before, I've never really been into scrapbooking, and I'm so bad to the point where, like, I never even made a baby book for my daughter, you know. I'm not really a memory keeper. I'm definitely a take the picture, upload it on Facebook to get it off of my camera, then delete it, and like that's it. So this year I would like to do that differently. I'd like to approach it more as trying to keep a memory. So I picked up, and I'm not even sure if I ever hauled this, but I picked up this large album, just an inexpensive album from Consumer Crafts, this 12 by 12 album, and I grabbed some extra sheets. So I'm going to, these are top loading sheets. I'm going to start making a scrapbook for 2018. So I think that a way I'm going to approach it is every month or every couple of months, just get some photographs from Shutterfly, print them out, have them mailed here, and it should help. So I've already kind of figured out how I want my first couple of months a layout to go, and just wrote myself a little note. I'm going to keep this as a cover page. At some point, hopefully in 2018, we'll have at least one nice family photograph with the three of us that I could turn this into the cover page for 2018. For January, this page for our family New Year's activities. This one, my sister's getting married on January 6th, so this page dedicated to my sister's wedding. And then these two pages just for other stuff going on in January. And then here's a page for February. Here's a page for Valentine's Day if we do anything Valentine's Day. And that's pretty much as far as I got. I'm kind of, I didn't want to plan too far ahead because you never know, you know, what stuff is going to pop up. But just so that I can have a kind of idea going into the months, if the photo opportunities present themselves, I can be like, oh, you know, I want this, I want a picture of this for my album. So, because I already have planned for it. So that's what, obviously there's nothing in here. It took me a while to figure out how to get the binding open so that I can slip the extra pages that I bought in there. My new screwdriver that came in my little toolkit came in super helpful because it turns out you need a screwdriver to get in there. And this is something else that I've recently acquired, and it has a little screwdriver end on it, and I needed it to get into the album, so this was really handy to have. I'm really glad to have this little guy. It's been so helpful so far in just the few weeks that I've had it. So this is going to be a big 2018 project, so I hope that you'll join me as I figure out kind of what to do with scrapbooking. I grasp scrapbook layouts. I've made a few for other people as gifts. I've just never really attempted to scrapbook anything for myself. So I really would like to document 2018 and see how that goes. I think it would be fun. And it was really inexpensive. I think it was only maybe $10 for the albums and the refills. Okay, moving on to what we're actually here for. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I almost feel like it's time to switch off of coffee now because I'm getting a little jittery and loud. And I don't want to overdo it and hurt myself. So here's my 2018 planner. I have been, it's an 18-month planner, and what I had been doing is taking some of the, because I already have a 2017 planner, I wasn't planning to put any of 2017 in here, so I've been taking some of the 6-month slots that are obsolete, and I've been kind of turning them into my own my own slots. I've been using my label maker to just kind of cover up the month, and not so much with this one, and then I've been covering the actual pages that have the planner on it with my own pages, and putting my own, using some scrapbook paper and decorative and stickers and so on and so forth. Like this section, this first one I haven't really started working on yet, is called projects. So I have this section all set aside. I just haven't actually filled it out with anything yet, but I will. I just haven't figured out too many of my projects yet. This next section I've changed into shop goals for my Etsy shop. So I have these first 2 pages dedicated to my social media goals, and I have my goals all written out. I've started a list of stuff that I'm collecting for my 100 sub giveaway. So here's a list there. And shop goals I've already started. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I've already started January, and I have my shop sales goals for January, and I don't have too much else listed in here because I'm getting there. But I have the other pages covered and ready to go for when I start working on those. This next section I have dedicated to fitness, my personal fitness. I need to lose some weight, so I downloaded a free weight loss tracker. I'm probably just so I can check my weight every week. And I saved the link. I can print out more if I need it, but this is as far as I got so far. And then a fitness tracker. This is 9 weeks of fitness tracking each day, kind of logging, you know, what I've done for fitness that week. It's just to kind of help me keep going, and I've already put a couple of inspirational stickers up. So this is going to be my fitness section. This is enough to get started, and I'll add more as I need it. I didn't want to cover all of the pages because I don't know if these are going to work out for me or not, or if I'm going to want something else or whatnot. I didn't want to cover the whole book with these extras if I wasn't going to use it. So the next couple of sections, I have monthly budget section, and I've showed this before. Let me get this out of the way. I showed this before in a video. I've covered it up with some printables. This is where we get basically paid weekly, so we're like a paycheck to paycheck weekly family. So I have sections broken down to what bills we have to pay each week. The bills are more or less all due on the same date every week, but it falls into different pay periods during the month. So it's something that we actually have to take a look at in advance and figure out what gets paid when, where we can do it. So I already have this all set up, and I have stamps. I'm going to be stamping in the months and doing pretty designs and stuff, but this was before I had the stamps. So, so I have this all set up, and there are 4 months out of the calendar year where my husband's paychecks are on Friday. So there are 4 months coming up in 2018 where he will get 5 paycheck months just because there's 5 Fridays in the month. So I just made a little extra flap on those months for the extra week that can flap down and account for that. So I didn't have to worry about trying to shrink it and put it on there. So I just made a little fold down flap. So those are already all done, and the next section is going to be where I'm going to track, and I already do these things separately, and I won't show them on camera because they're not, I won't show much of them on camera. I already do them separately, like this is everything from 2017, basically all the monthly stuff, and this is our weekly budget, but I'm determined to actually put them in the book now. So this will be basically just a master list of what bills are due on what date, what our total balance is, what the minimums are due, and a spot to check it off if it's paid. It just helps me visually to see, like this is our December one. We only have 3 more bills left in December to pay, and then we're done, you know, then we're done with December. So in this last section, I haven't started filling out yet, but I'm calling it my debt tracker for lack of a better word. I'm going to make a page separate for each and every debt that we have and put them in here in order, because we're going to do the total money makeover with Dave Ramsey and put them in order, lowest to highest, and this will be where my encouragement pages as I'm making bigger payments on stuff and going on down the list. And then of course we start in January, where my normal month will kick off. So I already, I have a couple of appointments that are already in here, a couple of days of no school. I've got my birthdays on here, and this is something that I will have to do. I have some cards to make, so looks like I have 2 birthdays and a wedding to do, 2 doctor's appointments. I have a little note section here where I've made a note to myself for the scrapbook. Make sure to take wedding pictures and New Year's pictures for that. Not much going on in February, so on and so forth. So I figured, you know, I'd kind of take a harder look at each month as it's coming up. So it is just about time to start our January budgeting. However, I'm going to need to bring up a calendar. So I had mentioned that we paid off one of our small credit card bills already, and we already had step 1 of the Dave Ramsey plan done. We ran into a slight bit of trouble this month in December with me and this health issue and we don't have medical insurance, so having to pay for a doctor, which is still very reasonable in services that we weren't expecting. So we had to dip a little bit into the savings, and also that credit card that we had paid off was the credit card that we've signed up to do our, because it was the only one that we had on us. we signed up to do the monthly subscription fee for the doctor. So it will have a balance, unfortunately, again, when that bill is cut, or it might already be cut. I haven't even checked. That's one of the things that I'm going to be doing here today, is checking to see if the bills are cut and kind of writing down how much that is. So, and that's going to be $60 a month that's going to go on that card. So I figured I would keep that card on my budget list. It's actually a credit card that's in my husband's name, and just kind of budget to just pay it off every month. So instead of, because the doctor, they do automatic billing. That's how you sign up for it. So basically, instead of just writing him a check for $60 a month, he's just automatically billing $60 a month. So then I have to pay it off the credit card. So I figured I would just keep it as a revolving monthly $60 payment on that credit card. We do have a tiny bit of money to replace from the savings account that we had to dip into, which is why it's there, which is why Dave Ramsey says your step 1 is to make sure that you have a savings account. I don't anticipate an issue getting that back up to flush and normal by the second week in January. So I'm not super concerned about that. But just in the interest of disclosure, we are a little under in the savings account. So I will be doing a little less in January going forward, because I do have to replace that. But hopefully it'll all get, knock on wood, no more car tragedies or broken car, tires or anything that we need to worry about too much going forward from here. So let's take a look at what is going on. I have my week to week, and I'll probably do this on some scratch paper actually before I write it in the book. My first thing that I look at, and again, I'm going to keep it slightly off camera because I wasn't anticipating on ever showing it on camera, so I'll just keep my December stuff. I have my December budget out so I can take a look at that. I have, oh, you know what, I just remembered that I just got a bill yesterday. I got December's electric bill already, so I need to put that on here. Putting a note. So I can kind of look at that and see going forward. I have 3 more bills due in December here, and all 3 of them will get paid tomorrow. So, and this is so tomorrow is the 22nd. So, and I'm looking at my weekly for December. So this is the second to last paycheck for December, basically. I'm also off camera. I'm bringing up my computer here and opening up multiple tabs with different bills and balances and so on and so forth. And this is what happens when you get too involved in your credit cards and debt and bills and so on and so forth, is that it's a big pain in the ass to figure all this stuff out. So I hope that you, if you're struggling with stuff, that this encourages you to grab it by the balls. Just take it on, honey. You know, you can do it. It takes some time to figure out what is due when, how you can pay for it. It's a big pain in the ass, but in theory, I don't know for a fact because I haven't experienced it, but in theory it does get better as each bill is paid off. That's one less thing that you have to deal with every month. And then the whole Dave Ramsey thing is, you know, you pay off one credit card, that money that you were putting on that one credit card, take that and combine it with the payment for the next credit card. Keep the snowball rolling until you get stuff paid off. So that is definitely something that I take to heart. Anyway, so I already have, let's see, so the last paycheck was the 15th, and the next one is going to be the 22nd of December, then the 29th. So I already have budgeted to set aside a certain amount of money from each of those 3 paychecks to pay our rent. So our rent is not as dramatic as taking it all out of, you know, 1 or 2 paychecks. And then not having anything to live on for, you know, weeks. I take a little bit out of different pay. I can't do it like the first 1 or 2 weeks out of the month. We can't really afford to pull any rent money out of that because most of our bills are due between the 1st and the 6th every month. So it kind of creates, we're already kind of struggling those weeks, but for the rest of the month, I do make sure to pull some out. So, and when I get to do this next month, this will be a little bit more, camera friendly, and I can actually show you what's going on. I'll keep in mind that eyes other than mine are going to be looking at these. So I just have like, of course, my horrible chicken scratch that nobody can read, but I have like some account numbers on here and phone numbers and confirmation numbers and stuff like that. So it's not ready to show off, but I promise by next month this will be a little bit easier to show you guys what's going on with our money, because I will keep that in mind as I'm writing it in the book. So okay, so the 3 bills that are due, we have 2 credit cards, and those will be about $170. And then we have our internet bill, which is $42. So we're looking at probably, I'm also terrible at math, by the way, surprise. So let me actually add it up on a calculator here. So 44 is one credit card, 125 is another, and 42 is the internet. So we have $211 worth of bills coming out of this paycheck, which is the 22nd. And I've already done this, so I'm just confirming that's what's going on. And then the next bill, the next paycheck we get after that, we pull out some money for rent, and then that's it. So, and that's the 29th. So on the 29th is when we're going to have to start paying some of our bills for January, because the first paycheck in January isn't issued until, and it's automatic deposit, so I'm not worried about it not being here, January 5th. But we have all of the bills that are due between the 1st and the 5th. We don't want to get late payments on. So we're going to have to use that paycheck from the 29th to pay those bills. So that's kind of what we're going to be delving in today. And that's what I mean about looking a few weeks ahead of time, so that we know without a doubt on the 29th that we have to pay, you know, these paychecks from this week, these bills from this paycheck this week. Okay, so I've got my scratch piece of paper here. On the 29th, I know automatically, so I'm writing down here, I've got the 29th. I know that I'm pulling out a certain amount for rent. But other than that, I need to start working on some other bills. So let's take a look at what is going on. And this is where keeping a monthly log helps. Of course, I don't have any sharpened pencils here, so I'm going to have to use pen. So let's see. We have traditionally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bills that are going to be due before he gets that paycheck on January 5th. So let's take, or actually, one of the bills is due on the 5th. So, okay, so 8. Let's take a look. So we have rent, which we do have to pay, and that is due on the 1st. Let me do this because this thing is getting in the way. And I'm sorry that the camera angle is angled away from you. So the due date is the 1st and rent is due. So that is our first bill right there. I have 2 credit cards from Capital One that are due on the 1st of every month. So let me look those up and just make sure. And also I look at them every month and I make sure I know that we're not getting any charges on them because we haven't been using them. I like to check, just do a quick double check to make sure that there's no charges on them aside from the interest charges. Oops, excuse me a moment while I try to remember passwords. So just stuff like I'm just taking a look to make sure that everything looks okay, and I'm going to compare the balance and make sure that the balance is going down from the last time that I made a payment and all that blah 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 blah. So I have two Capital One bills that are both due on the 1st. So let's see. I have my lower balance one. Now this is the card that we're going to be focusing on paying off next because this is our next lowest balance. So I'm confirming that it is still due on the 1st. So we have Capital One. It's due on the 1st. I round up, by the way, so it's $604.86. I'm calling it $605. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I already messed up. This is the pressure of pen. It's the wrong. I need my whiteout. This particular form is new to me, so the categories are switched slightly. That's okay. That's the amount that's due. I was writing down the balance. Okay, so the balance is $605. The amount due, they say $20 is the amount due, but we all know that I need to pay much more than that in order to get this balance down. So this will be the point of getting my, on my debt tracker page, I'm going to make a page just for, actually let's do that now while you're right here. And I can't put it aside, right? I'm going to grab a pretty piece of scrapbook paper because I like to look at pretty papers. And I'm going to cut it down to size, and I'm going to get it on there, and I'm just going to get it all out in the open. Where's my paper cutter? Let's get it all out there, and let's talk about it. So this pretty purple floral paper is going to represent my lowest balance credit card, Capital One. And I'm gonna, I'll put that right there. And then we're gonna put some paper on it, and it's gonna be fabulous. I need to find my tape. Here's some tape. I noticed yesterday that I'm running a little bit low on my double-sided tape that I've been getting from Joann's, the Ms. Sparkle and Company. So I'm probably gonna have to make a Joann's run soon. I might wait and just put that on my list. I plan to do the stopping by all of the local craft store circuit on December 26th, so I might just wait and see until then. I don't really like Joann's that much, so, but I do love this tape, so, but it's usually not worth making a trip by itself just to see. Okay, so I've got a pretty paper in here. I'm gonna make, I'll do it, I won't take your time, but I'll make a pretty little thing that says Capital One on here. Let me get a piece of white paper. Excuse me for a minute. I'm just using typing paper because it takes up less space. I'm trying to not do too much bulk in here. I was originally using my beautiful thick papers and cardstocks, and I very quickly realized that even with the binding, it was going to take up too much space, so, or make the book too thick. Okay, so here we are with, this is going to be my lowest balance Capital One card page, and my lowest, I'm going to start at $605. So this will be the page where I will track all of the extra money that I get. So we're talking my Ebates rebate checks, my Ibotta rebates that I get from my app, and there's a referral link down below if you're interested in taking a look at that. extra sales from my eBay store, my Etsy shop as well. So any extra money that I get between now and when this bill is due, I'm going to write it down on this page, and I'm going to throw that on the bill, including the $20 minimum payment. So this is hopefully where I'm hoping it will encourage me to be better. Where are those pretty markers my mother-in-law gave me? Those would be perfect because they're fine point. Look at how well I'm moving today, guys. This is awesome. Okay, so I have these fun markers that my mother-in-law gave me, and I'm just going to do, I'm going to make a pretty page for my capital one. My penmanship is appalling. I'm aware of that. Okay, so this is my starting balance. Is $605. All of the money that I get between now and when the bill is due on the 1st, I'm going to write down that extra money that I have here, and the payment is $20. So it'll be $20 plus whatever else I have, and that's what I'm going to throw on the bill. And that's how it's going to get paid off faster. And again, that's spending less money on crafty stuff. I'm going to up my game with sales and stuff. Any extra bonus money that I get back for various referrals and rebates and so on and so forth, instead of going into craft supplies, is all going to go, or most of it is going to go in here. So that is the first one that we're going to conquer. Again, we do have that other credit card that technically the one that we just had to pay the doctor for has a $60 balance on it. That, however, is going to be constantly going, like he's going to bill it on there every month. So I'm just going to consider that a rotating $60 a month payment that we're going to have to just keep up with it. There's just no way around it. I wish if we had known at the time that they were going to they needed payment like right away, we would have made better arrangements, but we were in a position where it's like, that's the one card that we had, and it was like, okay, we might as well just do it. But I don't think it's that big of a deal, and if he pays, you know, it's technically the credit card's under my husband's name only. If he pays it off every month, then maybe it'll help with his credit card bill. Okay, so this is the Capital One that I'm working on. So that is that. The next bill that is due is also on the 1st, is also a Capital One. And that balance is much scarier. That one is $3,414. I will round it up to $3,415. And that one is almost maxed out. And the minimum payment on that is $104. I can still see the my mess up underneath here. Put a thicker coat of white out on here. And that one is also Capital One. That is due on the 1st. So I'm going to write that down. I will rewrite this neater in here. This is just my scratch here. So here we go. Another Capital One is $104. Okay, so that is due on the 1st. So I know going right down the line that these are going to go in order. These ones are due on the 1st, and so on down the line. And when they get paid, they get checked off. Similarly to how I did on my handmade one that wasn't in my planner. Now it's just going to be in my planner because I have a bigger planner for 2018. So very excited about that. Okay, so moving on. So the next bill that's due is happens to be that credit card that I had mentioned that was my husband's. So let me bring it up. I can access all of his accounts without any issue except for one. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. One of his credit cards, for some reason, doesn't load properly on the home computer. I'm not sure why that is. Every time I try to log in and do it, it doesn't let me do it. I can do it from his phone without issue, and it's not an app. He's just using the browser on his phone without issue. So I'm not really sure what to do. Okay, so he has a bit higher of a balance than I was anticipating on here, so I'm just taking a peek really quick, see what's going on. Okay. So he should have only had a $60 balance on here, and I'm seeing it's $157.70. Oh, I know why. Okay. I think I know why. I remember him talking about this. His son's his son's cell phone ran out of minutes, and I think he bought his son some minutes for his phone. And I think that's what I'm looking at here. Although I thought it was only $35 and not... Oh, I see. Okay, he's been Christmas shopping. All right, I'm not looking too... not looking too into this because it's none of my business. It looks like he's been using his Christmas shopping budget. That would probably explain why our checking account balance, when I looked this morning, was a little bit higher. I think he's using his credit card because I think he's buying stuff online. Okay, so no big deal. I actually have some cash to do this. So, this, it's really important that your spouse communicate with you. If he had told me that he was using his credit card instead of the debit card to do this, then I would have been like, oh, okay, no problem. But I think the whole time he's using the money in the checking account, and I'm wondering why our checking account balance this whole time is higher than it should be. Okay, so I'm just going to have to pay this. Now, technically it's saying because we just paid it off that there's no bill due. They haven't cut the check yet. But I'm going to pay it anyway, just because I'm going to give the money anyway, just because I know that at least 60 of it is the doctor. And it's not technically due, but I'm just going to keep it the same due date anyway, which is normally the 2nd. The balance it's saying is $158. So he's done a little Christmas shopping, and I know it's for me because I just saw that it was for Etsy, but unfortunately it doesn't show me what it is. See, if he just told me, then I wouldn't have done this, but men and their communication skills, right? So I'm just going to budget $60 to just get the doctor paid off on that, and we'll worry about the rest of it the next month. So this is his PayPal credit card. Okay. Boom, done. Moving on down the list. I'll scratch it down on this here to account for that. The next item that is due is our cell phone bill, and that is usually due on the 3rd. Our cell phone bill just went up like $10 when we got the bill. We are absolutely bullshit. And I even had, because I am not the nicest person in the world when I'm angry, I even had my husband call to find out what was going on with that. And they said that the bill went up because they were giving us like a 15% discount because one of the phones is my business line. So we were getting a business discount, but they decided to phase that out for 20 and didn't tell anybody. So our bill is now $185.09. And I'm absolutely bullshit about it. If we weren't, I think that they're doing it on purpose. We're mid-contract. We're not at a point where we can drop them yet. If we were, we would be out of there like crazy because now everybody, like their competition even, is, throwing unlimited data plans at everybody, and this is absolutely just terrible. They keep going up. It used to be, our bill used to be $150 a month, and then it would turn into $160, then it was $170, then it was $177, now it's $185.09. So we're definitely, I think next October we can drop them. We're out of here as soon as we can. We used to be so happy with them, and now we're not. So I'm just going to round that up and call it $186. And that is going to be due on the 2nd. $186. US Cellular. Okay. Super duper. And I mean that sarcastically. Okay, so, and then I have a Dell computer loan that we took out stupidly years ago. We no longer even have this computer because this was years ago, and we still owe like the exact same amount that we bought the computers for. We pay all of our bills on time every month in full. Very much looking forward to being done with this bill. This one they're saying is $39 due on the 4th. So it is a $39 payment for Dell, and our balance is $1,296. Last month it was great to keep track of that because then you can just look at a glance. Last month it was $1,306. So it's not going down much every month. So it would be nice to be able to focus on that and just get it to go the F away, because I can't think of anything else that is more awful than trying to finance something from Dell. So Dell, $39 goes on the list. The next one is due, this one could be due on the 4th or the 5th, so we're just going to take a peek. It kind of bounces a little bit. I wish that they wouldn't do that, actually. This is another credit card that's just in my name. I have to type in my password again, because I had to update it a few months ago, and for some reason my browser doesn't recognize my updated password, so I just have to type it in. This one is also a very high balance. This one has 3 different car repairs on it. So this card is like 2 years worth of major car repairs on it. I'm embarrassed to talk about the number almost. But again, we're not, okay, I'm just double checking. They put, there's interest on it obviously, but no account activity. So that's good. That means that nobody's used my card. I can't think of anything that would be worse than someone stealing your card when it's almost maxed out, and then start to, put charges on it, and then, before you know it, you owe like thousands and over limit fees and all that bad stuff. So, anyway, so we don't have like the cool kind of credit card debt where we've just gone on vacation or whatever. Ours are like medical bills or car repairs, really boring, unfun stuff. So this is going to be due on the 4th this month. Okay, it was due on the 4th last month too. So on December 4th is my Chase credit card. We have 2, Rod has a Chase credit card as well, so I have to just designate which one is mine and which one's his. The bill due is $77 and the balance is $2,905. And that should have gone down a bit from the last month, which it has, so that's good. So this next one is another credit card, that we have, which is my husband's one impulse. This computer that I'm actually purchasing right now, he financed through Newegg, which was a really great deal because they don't charge you interest if you pay it off in like the first 6 months or whatever. But we couldn't pay it off within the first 6 months, so now we're stuck paying interest. So we really need to work on that one. But that one can be due. Like the date will kind of vary on that one a little bit, and as we've seen, because of the way that the paychecks work, the dates actually do matter for us as to what day we can pay it. It would be cool if it wasn't due until the 5th, because we're already pretty overwhelmed with other bills that week. We still like, if possible, we still like to be able to buy groceries and put gas in the car. So kind of something that we do is I'll pay all of the bills, and then everything that's left over is what we have to live on. Anyway, so let's see. Oh, and I did get the physical bill in the mail too. I think I may have thrown it away because I get it all online too. So this one is fortunately due on the 5th and not the 4th, and the 5th is a payday, so we can move that to the next pay week. So we can pay that on the 5th, and that'll take a lot of pressure off of that first week of the month when we have rent and all of these other bills that are due. We've been setting a little bit aside for rent, the past couple of weeks, so we should be able to at least do the rent, but it's still overwhelming having a few $100s worth of other bills, coming out of that one paycheck. So it'll be nice to have, one thing that can get bumped to the next week. So that one is going to be, that is, what is it called? Newegg. Again, I'm just scratching it out on my list here, and once I get it all worked out, I'll write it all pretty in the book here. Is a $46 payment that we pay on the 5th. And let's write it in here while I've got it up. It's Newegg. It's due on the 5th. A $46 payment and $1,290. Ugh, all this money, it hurts, and I'm almost embarrassed to show you guys what we got going on, because this is just, we just have shitty luck, man. Car repairs and husband's charging computers, and I don't even like this computer. This is not something that I would have picked. This is like a gift that he picked for me. Anyway, enough complaining. What's done is done. I'm using it. It needs to be paid for. This is why I'm showing you guys what's going on for us. Okay, so moving on down the line. So that is done. The 29th, we have a lot of stuff coming out on the 29th. I'll do it off camera though, but I'll get everything translated to this list and work on a budget minus my husband's paycheck. He would not want me telling you guys how much he makes, so I will do that in privacy. Okay, so also on the 5th, we normally have the paycheck after the 5th is going to be, I need to make sure I'm looking at the right month, is the 12th. So everything between the 5th and the 12th, I need to pay on the 5th. So it looks like we have, we basically just have 2 more credit cards to do that week. We have my Amazon credit card, and I've mentioned this in a video before. This is the one, like my husband has the Newegg. Amazon is the one that I got into a little trouble with. So it just became really easy to order gifts and books and craft supplies. But what we also have on there, like we've ordered tires for our cars on Amazon before, and stuff like that. So really, a kind of a combination of just being irresponsible and kind of relying on it to be our savings account, and it's just not good. So that is due on the 10th. So we have Amazon, but because we don't get paid again until the 12th, it has to be paid on the 5th because we don't have any other money coming in. So I'm writing it down on this scratch list. It's a $53 payment that is required. It is due on the 10th, and my balance is $1,650. Not good, people. Not good. And you know what? We still have more to go. So this is just not good. It's embarrassing. I hope you guys aren't judging me. Okay, so, and the next bill that's due is usually also on the 10th, but I have to have him confirm that, is Rod's Chase card, my husband's Chase card. I'm not going to be able to look that up. It's usually due on the 10th as well. I'm not going to be able to look it up because I can't look it up from here. It's something that he's going to have to do from his phone. So I'll have him do that, and he can worry about it. So that takes care of that week. So the next paycheck we have after that is the 12th, January 12th. And the paycheck after that is the 19th. So everything between the 12th and the 19th has to be paid. And it looks like the only thing that we have due that week is our electric bill, which is usually due on the 14th or 15th. Let me look that up really quick. I know that they already cut the bill because I have it somewhere. I just don't have it accessible, so I'll just look it up online really quick. Gotta enter in my stuff. It's great having all of this stuff accessible online, I tell you. Loving it. Our electric bill is really high here. This is just, it's a really small house, but we have to have 2 space heaters to keep pipes from freezing. So, it's just going to get worse, guys, as winter progresses. And actually, technically today's the first day of winter, so as winter progresses, like January and February, we'll be looking at like close to $400 a month electric bills, just because we're just trying to keep the pipes from freezing. And actually, that reminds me, I need to account for saving up for another round of propane in here, because we're probably going to need that sometime in January as well. Okay, so our electric bill, they just cut, it's due on the 15th. So, and that's going to be $281. So let's see, 115, New Hampshire Electric Co-op, $281. Super, lucky us. Oh, hi, sweetie. Hi, Bunny Rabbit just hopped up. Hi, honey. Okay, so, and that's the only thing that's due that week. And then the paycheck after that is the 19th, and the paycheck after that isn't until the, I'm looking at the wrong month. Okay. So we have the 19th, and then the 26th is the paycheck after that. So, what I'll probably start doing, because we only have the electric bill and we only have a couple of other little bills after that, is that this 12th will be the day of the month that I'll start pulling out for rent. So it looks like we have three not as severe paychecks. So I'll just take our total rent money and divide it by 3 and pull out to save that amount of rent money in those 3 weeks. So I'll just make a quick note to do that off camera. So the 19th, the only thing that we have due between the 12th and the 19th is nothing. So we don't have anything due, but I do have on the 20th, an automatic bill comes out, and there's nothing I can do about paying that early, but I might take one of these because the next 3 bills, there's 4 bills after the electric, are the car insurance, which comes out automatically on the 20th. We have a Target credit card, a Walmart credit card, and our internet. Because those technically aren't even due yet here in December, I haven't paid them yet, and I won't until tomorrow. Those bills haven't even been cut for January yet, so I'll work on those a little bit later. Because again, I still haven't paid them for December yet, so they haven't even cut those bills yet, so they're not even ready to start writing down. But yesterday was the 20th, so our car insurance should already been taken out of that, and then we just have Target, Walmart, and then our internet coming after that. So those aren't even ready to write down in here because they haven't been cut yet. I'll write them down just so that I know, but I don't have amounts yet. So, well, I know our Progressive, our auto insurance, I know the amount for that one because that's not going to change. So I'll write that down, and then I'll just make a little note to myself that that's an automatic so I don't forget. And then we have Target, Walmart, and these are all in order of how they're due. And then our internet. So those aren't ready to go yet. We'll talk about those a little bit later, probably in January, once the December bills are paid and they actually cut the January bills, then I'll be able to talk about that a little bit more. But that is about it. But I can kind of see just from the dates that they're kind of due, those will all come out of the last paycheck. And it just gives me a really good idea of what we have going forward in January. We know that the last week in December is going to be just awful because we have tons of bills that are due. And it looks like maybe towards the second and third pay periods in January will be when we can kind of recoup some of the stuff that we took out of savings. And then by the end of the month, especially combined with my Etsy and eBay money that I'll hold aside, I'll be able to make a much more impressive payment than just the mere $20 on this Capital One card and work on that. But I will keep you guys updated on that. I do know that I have, let me just look at it right now actually. I made a couple of very small sales on eBay this week, and my buyers have already paid, and I paid by eBay bill, you know, the money that I owe them for their commission fees. I pay them pretty much right away, you know, after I get paid for something. So, so I know that the money sitting in my account is all mine, basically. So I think I already have, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Sorry. It's being silly. I already have a little bit of money aside over the $20 to throw in that. So I have $16 already sitting in PayPal waiting to go onto this bill. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my Capital One page, and I'm going to write down that on 12/21, sitting in PayPal, I have $16 that can also go on this beyond the $20. So in every week when I get paid from Etsy, or if I make any more eBay sales, I will account for that in this little page here. And also if I get any rebate checks or anything like that, I will also account for that on this page here. So I know when it's time to pay that bill, I'm paying the minimum $20, plus I have all of this other money that I'm going to throw on it and get it paid off. So I'm kind of excited to start that little journey. So I think I've done pretty much all that I can do on camera. Again, please don't judge us too harshly. We had a lot of medical bills and stuff for when my daughter was born. We didn't have insurance, so we very rapidly kind of lost any hope of having a savings account, and really kind of relied on our credit cards to get us through some of the stuff that happens. And we've made some stupid decisions too. you know, my husband with the stupid computer from Newegg and me with the leaning heavily on Amazon for crafty goodies and stuff like that. But we're human, and we recognize that we had those problems, and we stopped using the cards, like, you know, completely, with the exception of having to put my doctor subscription fee on one of the credit cards, which I've already accounted for and will, you know, will pay off every month. We've not really been using our credit cards very much, except for my husband being stupid and using the credit card instead of the debit card to do a little Christmas shopping. But I was able to see that, and I could see, you know, I saw pretty quickly, so I'll be able to very quickly just account for that. And we do have the money sitting in our checking account that he was supposed to be using, and he's not, so I'll just use that money to pay the credit card off. So a lot of it just some really bad luck, and then we've got some bad decisions in there, and we're trying to get better, and we want to be debt free, and we want to start saving for a house and a house of our own and a bigger place to be. And I hope that you guys will treat me fairly and kindly, and be a big cheerleader. And I hope that if you are on a similar journey, or if you've been through a similar journey, that you'll speak up, even send me a private message, and just let me know how you made it through it. Cutting back on extras and working harder to make more money. And really trying to focus. I find I've been doing, for the past year, I've been doing this, I have a whole, you know, this is all of 27, I've been doing my budget tracking, and it's worked out really well for us in terms of not being surprised, with late fees or whatnot because you've messed up. One thing that I will say is that, and it may or may not be the right decision, especially when you have a child. Nobody is starving here, though. That even in those hard weeks, we've always made sure that we're paying the bills. So we're a little, our debt to available credit ratio is a little flipped over, but we don't have any bad marks on our credit. Like, we don't have any late payments on anything. Nothing that we've avoided. We're not in collections for anything. So we've continued throughout the years to make our minimum payments. But so that's good. So we're not in the rears or in collections or anything, but this is just, we can't continue to live like this with, hundreds of dollars out of every paycheck just going to pay down, just a mere $50 worth of debt or whatnot. So we really need to focus on that. So anyway, so I think I just need to do a couple of things off camera. Again, I don't think my husband would want me to share everything. He probably doesn't want me to talk about how much he makes and stuff like that. Speaking of which, he's put in for a transfer to a store in Vermont, which would also be a really good opportunity for him. And it would be a bit of a raise. And it would also mean relocating, which my daughter and I are 100% behind him, so just keep your fingers crossed. It would be an incredible opportunity for all of us to start over again somewhere new and give him a little bit more earning potential than what he has now, which would also be, a huge boon in that department. But just, I think we can all really use the change in the change of scenery. And I've only I live in New Hampshire, but I've only been in Vermont maybe half a dozen times in my life, or, it's mostly just been through Vermont trying to get somewhere, but it's a pretty little state. So definitely keep your fingers crossed, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I'm going to get off camera and I'm going to finish this stuff up. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for your kind attention and looking upon me with kind eyes. Any words of encouragement will definitely help. I would like to get this first bill that I'm tackling, this $600-something bill. I'd like to get it paid off pretty quickly. So I'm gonna try to push and get that paid off. And the next one in line after that is that evil Dell card that I talked about before, where we've been paying on it for 6 years, and it's only gone down $300 in the 6 years, just because the interest is so high. It's only gone down $300 from the original amount, and those computers don't even exist anymore that we bought with it. So that's the next one in line, and I'd really like to get that one paid off. So I'm really going to push to get this little one out of the way so that I can pound on that one and get it out of there. And then I am closing that card. They keep sending me advertisements I'm never going to buy anything from you ever again. Anyway, So that's what I got. Thanks again, and I hope that I was at least entertaining in the depths of our despair or whatnot. You take care, and have a great day. Bye-bye.